Hi, everyone. Welcome to another SQL question. This question is a little difficult, especially if you have never done a question like this before, but it will make sense once we step through it and get to the end product. Let's go ahead and read the question. So it wants us to compute the month over month difference in revenue for each store. So remember that this is similar to a old school movie store, and there are two stores. So for those of you that are familiar with the Blockbuster movie store, you can think of it like that. So one thing I did was I generated the output. So this is what our output should look like. You can see that we have the store ID, the month, the total revenue, the previous month's revenue, the month over month difference between these two columns, and then the overall percent change month to month, which is what the question is asking. So if you have your ER diagram, awesome. If not, you can always look at the primary and foreign keys um, between tables on your left-hand side if you're using Postgres. And so for this question, what we are going to do is we are going to first join our tables. So we know that in SQL, the from statement is always the first thing that is executed. So from staff, we are going to join the payment table. On payment, this is the foreign key staff ID equals staff dot staff ID, which is the primary key, right? So it's a foreign key to primary key relationship. And luckily for us, that is the only join that we have to do. And so we can go ahead and start selecting our columns. So we can see that in the first column, we want to return the store ID. So select store ID. And then in the next column, we want to extract the month. So in order to do that, we actually need to use a keyword called extract month from the payment date as month. And then the next column here is total revenue. So for us, that column is called amount. So we're going to sum the amount, and we're going to create an alias called total revenue. Now, this is where things can get a little tricky. The next step is previous month's revenue. Now, since it is looking backwards in time, right, we need to use a window function. And that window function is called lag, right? You want to lag in time or between rows. So go to the previous row. But what exactly do we need to lag? That's what this parentheses is asking. You want to lag the sum of the amount and then with every window function, we have what we call an over clause. and we have a partition or a order by. Now we are going to partition by the store ID. And the reason we're going to partition by the store ID is because we have multiple stores for each store, in the sense that in this group, we have 4 ones. In this group, we have 4 twos, and we want them to be together, right? We want all the ones together, all the twos together. So in order to do that, we need to group it or partition it by store ID. And then the next thing we have to do is we have to order by. And what we're going to order by is the month. Now, the reason why we're ordering by the month is because we want to do the month over month difference. So from month to month, we need these months to be in order. So order by extract month from payment date. And that is going to be our window function. So if this works, we should have column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. Let's see if it works. And it says that the store ID should appear in the group by. So remember, if you are not doing an aggregate function on a column, then it needs to be in the group by. Now it says that the extract payment date, yes, group by 1 and 2, because this is not an aggregate. Now we got a output, but does it make sense? This is our total revenue. The lag, that means that in March for store 1, we have $11,000, and the lag or the previous amount is $41.60. Is it $41.60? Yes, it is. So this portion looks so far so good. So we can put an alias previous total rev amount. And now we can continue writing our code. So the next column, we have the total revenue, we have the previous amount, and now we need to take the difference, right? Compute the month over month difference. So all we need to do is write sum amount minus this entire line and this should work. Let's see, $11,776 minus 4,100 gives us 7,615. $14,234. We subtract 234 minus 14,000, you do get a negative 13,846. So this column also checks out. So we can write this as the difference month month. Now let's say that we wanted to calculate the percent change of month over month, right? What is the percent difference? We may be asked that. So the next thing we need to do is do a very similar thing that we did above. We want to take the sum of the amount and we want to subtract it by the lag and then we want to divide that entire thing. So this entire denominator by the lag value. And then we want to multiply it by 100 in order to get a percentage. Okay, so ultimately we know that we need to multiply by 100 in order for us to put it in a percentage form. So the only thing that I will change here is I want to put a parentheses at the beginning just to ensure that the numerator gets calculated first and that the order of operations take place as we believe it should. So now we execute. And that is our percent change. So I know this is a large percentage. Maybe what we can do to make it look a little bit more reasonable, we can do a round. Let's do a round. Let's see if this works. In theory, it should. Awesome. This looks a little bit more clean. So the percent change, let's write percent change. Then we'll execute. This is the percent change. So from 4,000 or 4,100 to 11,000, the percent change was large, 183%. And then from month 4 to month 5, we have, or I'm sorry, month 3 to month 4, there's a 19% change or close to 20, and so on. So this is ultimately your answer. Now this does look a little bit I guess we can improve the readability. So let's do that. Let's see, over order by over order by over order by. And so the readability here is a little bit better. It's not perfect, but ultimately what we are happy about is that we got the correct answer. So give it a try. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.